Good morning, fourth graders. I am eager for this day of math because you get a chance a little bit later today to show all the things that you have learned about reading calendars, temperature, time, and these different graphs we've learned. So before we take our regular test today, I would like to quickly go over the chapter 13 and 14 review test to see how you did from yesterday. Number 1, the time that passes between one time and another is elapsed time. You have a grading pencil in your hand and you're ready to go. A number that is less than 0 is a negative number. And I think that means less than 0. There are 10 years in a decade, and there are 100 years in a century. So when we look at this January calendar, write the day and date 3 days before January 26. 1, 2, 3. The answer is Sunday with a capital letter, comma, January 23. Write the day and date 5 days after January 8. Move and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The answer is Thursday, comma, January 13. Number 6, write the day and date 2 weeks after January 1. When I want to just simply count weeks, remember you can just go down. Move 1, move 2. The answer is Saturday, January 15. Write the day and date 1 week before January 11. A week before goes back in time. It would be Tuesday, January 4. When we're thinking about a little bit longer amounts of time, 3 weeks. How many days are in 1 week? 7. So bigger to smaller, I multiply. 3 times 7 is 21 days. 1 year, this is a good number to know in life, is 365 days in most years. Number 10, 2 decades. Well, up here, 10 years are a decade, so if I have 2 decades, I have 20 years. If I have 1 year and 6 months and I'm trying to figure out the total number of months, well, I have to tell myself there's 12 months in a year, so 12 plus that extra 6 is the answer is 18 months. Now, what about that elapsed time? Be careful on these because these clocks were not right always on exact numbers, but as fourth graders, we should be able to tell the time. This clock is 2, it looks like 18. So 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. What time will it be in 3 hours? 5:18. What time will it be in 20 minutes? But look, the big hand is not exactly on the 8. This clock shows 9:41. So if I'm going to go 20 minutes, I'm imagining going 1 tick past the 8 and counting by 5s. 1 tick past every number. 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, I would get up to the 10 o'clock hour and 1 minute over. So it is 10:01. How much time has passed? From 4:10 p.m. to 5:53. Well, as I count hours, do I want to go up until 5:10? Yes, I do. So my answer is 1 hour, and I have to get now from my 5:10 to my 53. Now I can imagine a clock, or there's a couple different ways to do it, but let's go. If I'm going from the 10 and I've got to stop at 53, I'm going to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 1, 2, 3. 1 hour and 43 minutes. Right? Very good. I hope you're doing well and are ready to nail this test. Backside, please. So when we're finding the differences between temperatures, you have to imagine that thermometer. And imagine if I start at 5 degrees Celsius and go up to 12 degrees, they're both positive numbers. So I need to do a simple subtraction Taking the smaller one away from the bigger one, 12 take away 5 is 7 degrees Celsius. But number 16, I have a negative 3 degrees Fahrenheit and 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Notice that there's one negative number and one positive. So I have to lift my negative up to the 0 and 10 degrees beyond that 0. So I have to add those two. The answer is 13 degrees Fahrenheit. In this, I have two negative temperatures. So what's the difference between two negatives? I just have to do a normal subtraction problem, and the difference is 5 degrees Celsius. Remember, I don't have to put the negative because I'm just showing the difference of those temperatures, not the actual temperature itself. Number 18, we learned some cool things about line plots. Some of you told me that you kind of enjoyed these line plots and these leaf plots. They are interesting ways to show data and be able to figure out a lot of things about that data. So always notice your title. This is age of certain campers. So now we know what the numbers stand for, and then we know that the X's stand for the number of campers. Let's see if we can answer these questions. How many campers are there? Well, if you added up all the X's, I hope that you found that there were 15 campers. Notice I'm going to be more careful making sure I put labels on everything. I hope you do on the test as well. Number 19, are any of the campers younger than 8 years old? I would say no, because there are no 7-year-olds or anyone younger represented on this line graph. Number 20, what is the age of the oldest camper? Well, it looks like the oldest age here is 12 years old. What is the range of the data? Oh yeah, the range is the difference between the highest and the lowest. 12 is the highest number represented, 8 is the lowest. 12 minus 8 is 4. But it's not just plain old 4. What are we talking about? We're talking about ages. So 4 years maybe would be a good label. What is the mode? Oh, you're getting so good at this. What's the most popular? Of course, it is the 9-year-olds. Number 23. What is the median? Now, there are a couple different ways to do it. I like to cross them out. So I'm going to imagine crossing out these 4 low ones and doing 4 high ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 2 of those and 2 of those. And I can obviously see what is in the middle. All right. So my middle one is 9 years old. Okay. Not bad once you get used to those terminologies and you know how to tackle it. Just a few more. Now we're looking at the stem and leaf, remembering that the stems represent the 10s and the leaves represent the 1s. You will want to, if you are making one on a test or anywhere, you want to make sure that you do put these leaves in order from least to greatest. That's really important once you start finding the median and those other data things. Number 24, how many days are recorded? Well, if I count up all my leaves, it looks like there are 15 days that are represented. Which temperature is the outlier? Oh, what's that outlier again? Oh yeah, it's one of those pieces of data that's out there. Okay, really low, really high compared to where most data lands. So I would say that 49 degrees Fahrenheit is that outlier. Most of the temperatures range in the 60s and 70s. What is the range? Well, my lowest number is 49. My highest is 79. Ooh, maybe you can do that mentally. The difference between those two numbers is 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And again, what is the median? Well, I'm going to knock out a low and a high. Maybe 3 of these, 1, 2, 3, and then low ones, 1, 2, 3, one more, a high and a low, a high and a low. What am I left with? I am left, it looks like, with a median of 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And what is the mode? Do you see any numbers that are repeated lots of times? I think I see one. I kind of scratched it out, but I see these 3 zeros. So I'm thinking I have 70 represented 3 times. That is the mode. So please notice a few things as you now will soon begin your regular chapter 13 and 14 test. Notice all my labels. Please be very careful that you include labels on your test. Do what you need to find the mean. Mean is mean. Remember, you have to add them all up or divide by the number of numbers. Be careful with the temperatures. All the things that we just went over, you should be pretty good with all the practicing that we've had in the last couple of days. So your task today on Wednesday is to tuck all your practice papers away and pull out your real chapter 13 and 14 math test. I'm trusting that you are doing it on your own without any help from parents in your own space, but do be smart about checking things over. When you are done with this test, please take a clear picture of it and send it to your teacher, and we are happy to grade them up to see how you did with all these math things. Please do your very best. Have a great day, fourth graders.